What is up, YouTube? It is RSMario bringing you another Legend of Zelda Wii U theories video. Alright, so I know it has been a while since I did a Legend of Zelda video, mainly because, well, I've been trying to do one video in particular, which is a Legend of Zelda Myths and Theories video about the timeline. That was going to be my next video, but it's taking a lot more research than I really thought. So I'm going to skip that video for now and go right to the Legend of Zelda videos to kind of keep things going until that video is done. At least I'm comfortable with the amount of information I have, because I want to make this as good as possible. I want to make this as accurate as possible. But yeah, so I'm going to skip straight on to my next theory about the Legend of Zelda Wii U. And it does somewhat involve the timeline, or a timeline in particular. And my theory here is that maybe Legend of Zelda Wii U will actually be involved in its own timeline. You know, it could start another leg of the timeline, you know, for the Legend of Zelda series. Now, I know that sounds kind of crazy, but there's been some theories out there that this is very, very possible. And I'm going to kind of go into some ways that this could be possible. So we know that more than likely the Wii U Zelda game is going to take place after Skyward Sword. Possibly immediately afterwards, but after Skyward Sword. It'll take place after, you know, the Hylians return from Skyloft and they set up Hyrule in this new raw, untamed area known as the Surface. Now, the thing where things could possibly go wrong actually happens in Skyward Sword. We know time travel, whenever time travel is is in pretty much any universe, things change when you mess with time. You know, look at Ocarina of Time. There was time travel, even though things were technically set right in the end, because, you know, Link was set back to where he was before everything went awry in Ocarina of Time. It still created multiple timelines. You know, now we know that happened in Ocarina of Time. That's how we got the child and adult timelines. And, you know, Nintendo also says, you know, the defeated timeline occurs here as well. But, yeah, we got two timelines because Zelda sent Link back to the past. Now, in Skyward Sword, we know that Girahim takes Zelda and goes all the way back to the past in order to revive Demise. Link goes with him, fights him, and kills Demise, saves Zelda, you know, and Zelda further alters time by, you know, of course giving, you know, she met the original Impa, well, not the original Impa, but a younger version of Impa, you know, giving her a bracelet and basically altering time. Like, you don't do things like this. Do they not know? Did they not watch the Butterfly Effect? You know, when you do things like this, you mess up time. And that's pretty much what they did, you know, and it's very possible that, you know, the ramifications of them doing things like this, going back in time and coming back, and using the gate of time basically, we know that, you know, there's going to be ramifications, and the ramifications of that could very well be a new timeline, and that timeline could be where Legend of Zelda Wii U starts. Now we see, you know, Zelda Wii U, if you look at it, you know, it does seem, you know, like it's, you know, kind of raw, untouched land, but there's also some technological advancement. You see, like, there's a windmill type of deal going on. You know, if you look in the far distance in the original trailer, you know, there's also the monster that attacks Link is, you know, seemingly like robotic almost. Even though we know it's not a robot, it's probably a living statue, but it just seems that way, and it shoots lasers. So maybe time travel caused something to change here where they get access to this type of stuff. Yeah, you know, like, time travel could very well have caused a new break in the timeline, and that could be where Zelda Wii U starts. Now, what starts this break, I don't know. Now, we know that, you know, Zelda going back in time in Ocarina, well, Zelda sending Link back in time in Ocarina of Time is what starts the what starts that break in the timeline. You know, now we don't know the ramifications of time travel in Skyward Sword, but it very well could resolve in a new timeline. And actually that would kind of work, you know, because that way you could have Skyward Sword happen, and that would, you know, since technically that game is probably as important as Ocarina of Time, and you could have the schism happen there, and you can have Zelda Wii U to be the next game, you know, in that timeline, but still not actually be the next game in the timeline. It could start its own timeline, which would be interesting, actually. And that would give, you know, Nintendo, that would also give Nintendo a lot more creative freedom to do what they want to do with the story and things like that. You know, just think about like J.J. Abrams, what he did with Star Trek. Now, there's not a lot of freedom that you could really do with Star Trek if you go by the old timeline. You know, now the old timeline is full, pretty much. So that's why he kind of was like, okay, well, I want to do some different things, so I'm going to mess with time and make my own timeline. Nintendo could totally do that. You know, they could totally mess with time. They could say, you know, by Girahim going back in time and by Link killing Demise in the past instead of killing him in the present, changes things. So now there's a completely different evil in the present, which is possibly where Zelda Wii U would take place, you know, than there is in the past. Or they could say when Zelda and Link come back to the present from the past after Link kills Demise, you know, they could say that timeline, that time where he kills Demise, something else happens, and that could be where Zelda Wii U takes place. You never know. With time travel, things are just like that. They're just crazy. So, that's about it for this video. Sorry for this video not being like as long or as deep as I could probably go, but, well, that sounded kind of weird. But, yeah, you know, this video was kind of spur of the moment, because I kind of needed to get something out. Now, the next video I'm going to be doing will probably be a Zelda Missing Theories video, which will be relatively soon. It won't be the timeline video, because I'm not quite comfortable with it yet. Almost there, but the next video will be a Missing Theories video, another theory that I've had in mind for a while. I'm going to keep these videos going. Also, look out for my anime videos. I'm doing anime on the channel. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and so check out my anime top 8, my top 8 Nintendo franchises. They could be animes, video. You know, check out my anime stuff, and look out for my my anime review coming out relatively soon. So like, comment, subscribe, and keep it real.